Welcome to Change Your Mind. My name is Michael, and it is my sincere pleasure to be here in this moment with you. This is an extraordinary existence that we're all sharing in this present moment, and likewise, this strange universe that you've stumbled into, this little rabbit hole of a YouTube channel that you've fallen down, just so you know, it's no ordinary place. The purpose of this project is to help other fellow human beings out there who struggle with challenging mental disturbances and any form of emotional overwhelm. I'm here to share some stories from my life, to talk about things like anxiety and depression and the means for rising above these lower states of being. In simple terms, I am here to help lift you up. The purpose of this first episode that we're in right now is to introduce myself and some of the basic words and concepts that will construct the foundation of the underlying form of the ideas to be presented here. Several years ago, I stumbled upon a quote by Napoleon Hill that I found to be very relevant in my life, and so I'd like to share it with you now. If there's something happening in your life that you do not like, there is a corresponding thought that is creating it. One of the main areas of focus in our discussions will be on negative thoughts and negative emotions, which are low energy, energetic vibrations that are inherently destructive and often penetrate covertly into our daily existence. In particular, negative emotions are transmitted from origins in our emotional or feeling center, and when activated, radiate out into the world in the form of wrong speech or wrong action, leaving a wake of damage and destruction in their path. Now, unfortunately, negative emotions have become pervasive in our modern society to the extent that they control many aspects of our lives. One of our major tasks here is in fact to understand the devastating monstrous beasts that are negative emotions and to learn how to eliminate them from our lives. While studying and learning to combat negativity in all of its forms, it is important not to become negative in the process. In order to rise up to a higher state and level of being, we have to find creative ways to make ourselves lighter. Laughter and self-deprecating humor are two key means for this effect. If for whatever reason you happen to be joyful, full of cheer and childlike wonder, please don't worry. I promise I don't suspect, judge, envy, or discriminate, so you are equally welcome here too. Regardless of your level of being, everyone joining me here must understand that there's serious work to be done in order to satisfy our expectation that measurable outcomes will be delivered. So please, 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 stop messing around in your minds and start focusing on getting all of those chaotic thoughts put into order. Seriously though, with that said, on my part, fulfillment of this mission will be delivered in the form of various teachings to transmit new knowledge in an effort to germinate the seed within and to fertilize and nurture the growth of new branches within your being. These teachings will invariably incorporate thoughtful quotes, interesting thought experiments, devious tricks, clever koans, mischievous games, titillating confusion, dissolving illusions, and many other devices useful for initiating changes and challenges to your self-concept. One of my principal efforts here is to shock you into conscious awareness, to effectively shake up all of your stagnant perceptions of who and what you are and how you fit into this beautiful, crazy universe that we all share in common. Life, in many ways, is not what you think. When we all stop thinking so much, we actually create space and allow both life and the universe to unfold in harmony together as per the grand design of the cosmos. At the very least, regardless of where you're coming from, I think that we can all agree that life is way too short to be dull and boring. So let's just try to fill it with a bit of joy, a lot of love, and have a really great time while doing it. Now, as a disclaimer, I want to make it clear that whether it be labeled anxiety, fear, depression, or anything similar or otherwise, I have no intention of belittling the serious magnitude of your own present state or condition. Nothing I say here is meant to undermine what you believe to possess or allow yourself to be possessed by, unless you are willing, conscious, and ready to let go of these limitations that only exist in your mind. Indeed, the only thing that you're being asked to sacrifice in my presence is any suffering that you are unconsciously holding on to. Now, regardless of the quality and taste of your uniquely personal form of suffering, you're not alone. At this very moment, all around the world, people from all ethnicities, cultures, and walks of life are in the midst of deep suffering. There is a largely unseen and rarely discussed epidemic among us that is as common as dog shit on the sidewalks of Paris. The exponentially declining worldwide level of mental well-being is truly the proverbial turd that no one wants to look at, almost as though that by ignoring it, it'll just somehow all go away. Well, I'm telling you here and now that this is just complete and utter dog shizzle. And so this is why you and I are here. We are here to find solutions together. So right now, in this moment, the most important thing for you to know, if you happen to be experiencing feelings of emotional overwhelm, agitation, disturbing thoughts, or inner turbulence, the most important thing to remember is that you are not alone. Despite all illusions, we are never alone on this earth. From my own personal experiences with both recurrent anxiety and periodic depression in the past, I know firsthand just how dark, difficult, and challenging that life can become. It can often feel like a life and death struggle, which in many ways it perceptually is. It's like two halves of your being internally waging war against each other. At one moment, you feel pulled in one direction, and then minutes later pulled in the opposite way. It's like an internal tug of war, where we feel like the rope caught in the middle as it's violently pulled apart. Yeah, I know, because I've been there. Nearly 20 years ago, back in 2006, at one point in my struggle with anxiety, I found myself lying on the floor of a department store, unable to breathe and believing that I was experiencing a heart attack. Several years later, during most of November and December of 2012, I entered a 6-week phase of deep depression where my entire being became very dark and cloudy and where I was barely able to function. I spent the majority of that time staying up late, zoned out, and binge watching the entire TV series Lost. And, in all honesty, during this period, I was indeed truly lost. I was lost in negative thoughts and emotion. This low state of being that I experienced ultimately led to the subsequent decline and end of a 7-year relationship with my partner at the time. Anyway, if you're interested in learning about some of my own personal experiences with challenging mental health events, you can sign up to the email's newsletter and get a free PDF download of my story here. So if you've got some time and are interested, check it out. Now, just to reiterate and to make things clearer, number one, I'm here primarily to share with you some of my personal stories of struggle with negative thoughts and emotions and to pass along knowledge and wisdom gained from these experiences. Two, secondly, I'm here to show you that your unique and custom-tailored problem can be solved. And thirdly, to show you through your own direct experience how to find your very own unique and meaningful solution. Just like our genetic codes and our fingerprints, every human being has a unique personal psychology and truly is a custom model of divinity sown as a seed into the soil of our animated bodies during our life on this earth. Each in our own way, we are all special snowflakes in the blizzard that is life. So let's not forget to acknowledge each other's differences as we celebrate the beauty and diversity of life through our challenges. Ultimately, with all of my efforts here on YouTube and beyond, I sincerely hope to show you that, in fact, all of your solutions in life are waiting to be discovered within your essence, your soul, the deepest, truest core of your very own being. By peeling back the accumulated layers of falsity and filth, much like peeling back the dead leaves of an onion, our aim is to reveal the heart, the growing center where the truth resides. Now, as we venture on this journey together, my metric of success is tied directly to your own ability to create positive change in your life. So please feel free to reach out to me at any time and let me know who you are, how you're doing, and whether any of this nonsense here has made a positive difference in your life. I actually encourage you to take one step even further so that you can help me make this little sanctuary here a living, breathing organism of real conversation. You know, a real life-sustaining exchange of energy and ideas, and not just me in here and you out there. So let's try to make this a community of shared ideas, like a pendulum swinging back and forth, fostering a tangible, positive, energetic exchange that can transform our minds together. Questions, concerns, suggestions, or complaints, please give them to me. I accept any and all forms of payment or retribution. In addition, gratitude and gratuities are always warmly accepted in these parts. Seriously though, any form of criticism and feedback is greatly appreciated and can help guide me towards creating more suitable material that is increasingly helpful to others. So, thank you in advance for reaching out and assisting me in this way. Now, one last disclaimer before we get started for real. I want to make it clear that we won't actually be talking much about the DSM approach or its concepts of depression, anxiety, or any of that psychobabble. It can play a useful role in some situations, but for all intents and purposes for where we are here and now, it's kind of useless. On one hand, it makes sense, but right now, we're in a place where logic and sense really can't help us. These two things, they don't function deep down in the dark valley of destitution and despair. And I'm pretty damn sure you know what I'm talking about. That place of complete senselessness where meaningless, soupy, drudging, toxic, and corrosive thoughts dominate, creating dark, heavy feelings and associations that words are simply incapable of describing. Now, I know this might sound somewhat shocking and possibly even offensive for many, but the truth is, words like anxiety, depression, and all of those shitty descriptors of symptoms of unmitigated negative emotions, they don't really ever help describe how we feel inside. And so for that reason, they're kind of useless to us. They're just words that other people are using way up there, back at the surface, while we're down here at the bottom. The capital T truth is that it's way more resourceful for us if they don't even exist in our vocabulary. And the reason why I say this is because it needs to be clearly understood up front, first and foremost, that by labeling these things within us as conditions, diseases, or disorders, we in fact give them power over us, which leads us to identify ourselves more and more with these ideas, which are nothing more than someone else's opinion of what they perceived as a so-called problem. Where the mind goes, energy flows. Please remember this. You always get more of what your mind focuses on. So by turning around and looking the other way, right? If we look inwards towards our inner selves, avoiding using these loaded, problem-oriented words wherever possible, automatically our minds will shift to focus on everything else, namely the solutions that will lead us to a better place or state in our level of being. So in our discussions here, we'll place the bulk of our main focus on our own thoughts and specifically our feelings, rather than the projected thoughts and judgments of others. And this, my friends, brings us to my final message for you here today, which is, you can only change your life if you change your mind first. Form follows thought. Ideas and thoughts create the material world, that outside tangible reality that our body, as an extension of our mind, projects out into. Human life, in its most concise form of understanding, is really quite simple. Life is our cumulative experience through time as a series of outside events approach our being and intersect with our internal states. The quality of our lives is therefore a reflection of our level of being. As a result, your quality of being attracts your experience of life. Your being attracts your life. Your being attracts your life. Your being attracts your life. The quality of your experience in life corresponds directly with your level of being, which is a reflection of your internal state. If your internal world is full of positivity, love, and light, then your experience in life will be beautiful. Now, by way of thought, if we make the return journey to the quote that I presented at the beginning, my hope is that we can more clearly understand the idea that the remarkable Mr. Hill was attempting to transmit to us. If there's something happening in your life that you do not like, there is a corresponding thought that is creating it. And now, it's my sincere honor to accept the challenge of showing how you can change your mind and reap the benefits in every and all aspects of your life. I'm going to leave things here for today. Once again, if you'd like to know more about me and some of my past experiences dealing with my own mental health challenges, you can sign up to my email newsletter to access one of my memoirs as a free download. In the next episode, or approaching event horizon that delineates the blurred edges of this particular rabbit hole, we will dive into a deeper discussion of the two aspects of knowledge that are essential components for changing your mind. These two beasts that we will discuss in the next lesson, they're the guides that will lead us towards the trailhead into the process of change of being. So you don't want to miss it. These next lessons are foundational. Until then, hold your head high, keep your thoughts out of the mud, and while looking towards the heavenly bodies above, remember that they are your signposts, leading to eternal freedom in this life and beyond. Once again, thank you for being here. Your presence is truly a gift. Bye!